When it comes to Fallout 76, I had a bunch of stuff I feel like I could have made a video about. At first I was thinking, this game isn't even that bad, maybe everyone else is just dumb. Ha! It took about 3 seconds to figure out that that was a bad idea. This game definitely has problems. Uh-oh. What was that? Like a bunch of problems. That's not you at all. What the? Why? They spawned on top of me. No, there's 2 more. A lot of problems. Yeah. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, I pressed M. I think I crashed. Yep. Yep. Game crashed from pressing the map button.
That's a bummer.
Yeah. Oh, it uncrashed. You're just sitting beside me naked, your legs jerking.
Oh no.
What happened? What is this video game? Then I thought about making something about how the hate train has gone too far and people are just looking for things to not like, actively not engaging with the game systems, and then making videos and comments filled with misinformation or straight ignorance. But now I'm just thinking that this game was made for and appeals to a certain niche that might be smaller than Bethesda might have thought. A niche that plays these games to wander around an open world, see the sights, laugh at the visual gags, kill the enemies, loot their bodies, and then scrap and sell the stuff they find and repeat. I don't have 130 hours in Skyrim playing the story. Heck, I've never even finished the main quest. Not to say that there aren't interesting stories there. Not Winterhold, though. But the main reason I think I played Skyrim as long as I did was to explore the world and do the stuff I said a second ago. Fallout 4 even more so. The story was just as average as Skyrim, but now Bethesda decided side quests and dialogue were completely unimportant. Still, I put quite a bit of time into just wandering around seeing what there was to see. It really seems like Fallout 76 was made for this type of play. I mean, it had to have been, right? It definitely wasn't made to be a hardcore survival PvP game because it's just kind of borked in that regard. The PvP is pretty much limited to voluntary duels, hunting people that become wanted, and fighting over workshops, which I think works pretty well, but it's not true hardcore PvP. The decision to have no human NPCs so that every person you came across was a player seems like a good idea in theory, but the amount of people on a world at one time is very small for how big the map is, and how slow you traverse it, as your character can drive power armor, but he can't ride a bicycle. There's not really a reason to interact with other players either. The monster AI gets stuck often enough to where you can kill just about whatever you want without much help. The camp was also a pretty neat idea, that you could just have this base that you take with you as you roam around the countryside looting and scrapping, so you wouldn't have to fast travel back to Sanctuary every 15 minutes, but that too seems to have its own problems. Sometimes when you move your base, it gets split back into individual pieces and you have to reconstruct your base piece by piece, which is pretty annoying even with a small base. But wait, they said they fixed that 2 days ago. Patch improvements confirmed? Anyways, you can make a blueprint for your base so this doesn't happen, but if you build the blueprint, it doesn't use any of the stored materials and instead makes entirely new ones. Like, why just use the stored material? When you're not trying to rebuild your Minecraft house, you'll be out adventuring. All the silly visual gags from past games with skeletons and teddy bears are still around, and there's still some interesting environmental storytelling with notes and such. The enemies, of course, have some weird inconsistencies too. A lot of times enemies will fall out. Did I really write that? Fall out? Come on. A lot of times the enemies will fall over with one shot and hardly do any damage, but sometimes you run into a group of rad rats that take 4 shots to kill each and eat your health. Then there's big enemies that you basically don't even do damage to. I was in a cave full of mirelurks once and this other player joined in. I don't know if the enemies started scaling to his level or what, because I was fine before he entered, but as soon as we triggered a mirelurk king, I basically could not damage it. I don't know if I wasn't supposed to be in here because there's no suggested level for any areas, and some of the other enemies around the cave were level 6, but is this why you should party? Did the game glitch out? I don't know. So the guy carried me through this cave filled with some other high-level monsters, and I pretend like I'm helping him, hitting everything with my baseball bat doing 1 damage. What kind of loot do I get? Oh, a machine gun? Sweet! Oh. This is probably the biggest downer ever. You clear some hard enemies or get carried doing it and are rewarded with a thing that you can't use for a long time, which kinda sucks. But you can put it in your camp storage until you're the right level, right? Well, the camp storage only holds 400 pounds. Oh dear. Holding all your junk and power armor that you can't use until level 1000 takes up quite a bit of space. Unless you take the power armor, you put it on the chassis, and then you wait for the chassis to recall to your inventory, and then when it recalls to your inventory, it will only weigh what the chassis weighs and not what the pieces weigh, and then you put the chassis in the storage and it only counts as the chassis weight and not the pieces weight, and why does this work like this? There's also enemies getting stuck or just flat standing still, hits not seeming to go through, enemies spawning almost on top of you, your camp being deleted if someone else has a camp in the same spot as yours as you load into the world, the game performing very badly on console, and so on. All of that being said, I still have fun with this game. It's a mess. It deserves probably the bad scores and press that it gets, but there's just not much else like the Bethesda Sandbox RPG experience, TM. If you tell me this game is anything like Rust, I will go to your house and Gorilla Glue Legos all over your floor because this is just not true. Someone else should really try and give Bethesda a run for their money because it seems like a lot of people enjoy this experience that their games give but are really unhappy with the way that the past few games have turned out. I mean, Fallout 76, worst game 2018, better bait those clicks so I can get those ad revenues. Sorry if this was a mess, this isn't my usual type of content, but I have to leave now. I have to find the Mothman.